What's up, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning back in to the Ego Podcast. Everybody got an opinion. I'm your host, comedian Feddy, Reggie, and we're going to talk tonight. You know how we do. We out here in the Valley, and everybody got an opinion, and my guest tonight is no stranger to drama. She is no stranger to content, and she is no stranger to the bright lights. So none other, we have EbonyWorldOfDrama tonight, y'all. I want y'all to give her a round of applause. How you doing?
I am doing good, blessed.
First of all, I want to say thank you for coming out. I'm on my fourth episode, and it's much a pleasure to have you here tonight.
I appreciate it.
First thing I want to do, I guess I want to start off by just letting you introduce yourself properly and tell them a little bit about yourself.
So I am Ebony, better known as EbonyWorldOfDrama. I am from Gary, Indiana, born and raised. I've been here in Las Vegas almost 10 years. I started creating content maybe 4 years ago. I was once getting paid to create content at first, and then I became my own and started making my own content.
Okay. So I guess my first question is, tell me what you mean when you say that. So you started out making content and it was just for hire?
No. So basically what happened is I was getting paid to make content and be an actor for other creators.
Okay.
What happened is a big creator asked me to do content. I did 5 teacher videos for a huge creator out here, and it made $120,000. So then I was told from the head bosses, hey, I don't know if you know, but 5 of your videos went totally viral. It made this creator $120,000. I think they like you. I think you need to get your own page. That's exactly what I did.
That's how that works. So what was your initial, I guess, opening into the game? Like, what made you say, I want to start getting into content creating?
So this was God. And people don't understand when I say that, meaning sometimes in life, we don't know what we're going to do. We don't know what our calling is. We don't know what our time is. But in God's time, and when you sit back and you wait and see what doors God is going to open up for you, you just be patient. That's exactly what happened. You know, I was a server at first when I first moved down here from Indiana to here. I served my whole life. Then me and my fiance at the time was splitting up, and I needed a second job. I knew of a huge creator out here, and I told her, hey, I'm looking for something just to keep my income afloat, so when he leave, I'll be able to maintain my lifestyle. She said, we hiring at the studio, and we looking for a person to, once we get done filming, to keep the sets, set them back up. I said, well, how much? 25. Okay, man, I clean up for my kids for free. Put me in the game, coach. So she said, you know what? They're going to interview you, see how I go. I end up getting a job. So for 7 months, I was the person that kept the sets in order once they got done filming. I kept the office straight, clean, and that's what I did for 7 months. Then after that, a creator from LA came in and said, hey, can you be in my skit? I said, well, I really don't do skits, but come on, what you want me to do? She said, I want you to play a cancer patient and be on your deathbed, and let's see how it go. I filmed that, and once I filmed that, it did millions of views. And she said, who you under? And I said, oh, no, I just clean the office. I'm just here. She said, can you please come under me, and I will teach you the game. I was happy that somebody saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself, because it wasn't for me to see. God wasn't ready to reveal what it was that I needed to be doing. Once I did that, another creator from here in Vegas said, hey, can you play a teacher? I don't know if they remember a couple years ago, a girl threw a shoe at the class, at the chalkboard, and I was the teacher. It did 163 million views.
Oh my goodness.
With that being said, after that hit 160, he said, teacher. He called me for 4 or 5 other ones, and that's how all that took place.
I remember that one. But do you know the one that I remember, the one that made me say wow and caught my attention? And probably made a lot of the world like relate to you and cling to you. It was the one where you were the mother and you go into the classroom. You go into the classroom and they in there teaching
history, and I ripped down a flag. So that video did 225 million
Oh, so that
views.
one did more.
But it was for the same creator who came up with it, and Elon Musk shared it.
Wow.
Shaquille O'Neal shared it. Snoop Dogg shared it. I was then labeled Mother of the Year after doing that skit.
Damn.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So, like, I think I'm living in my calling, so I guess I know I can relate on that level. But how does it feel? How do you feel like living in your destiny? Like, did you manifest this, or do you think God just sent it and you're just following in his
That's
direction?
exactly what's happening. Because it'd be so funny. I hear people all the time running up to me. You famous. And to me, I am God's child. It's not, I think what happens with a lot of people, sometimes they get big-headed. And sometimes they get so big that they get to changing who they are. And I never want to be that person. I look at myself as a girl from Gary, Indiana that made it. You know what I'm saying? That's still trying to accomplish and make it, because I grew up on survival. And that's all I know. If you're from Gary, you'll know we survived through a lot of things. And I feel like this is just something that God was like, you know what? You have did a lot for a lot of people. You have been a blessing to a lot of people. You stay humble. You come to me in faith, and that's how he blessed me. That's just how I feel.
So let me ask something for the ratchet people in the back. What do you think makes people love your content so much? What makes them cling to the drama?
So anybody and everybody know drama is what sells, okay? Yeah. Drama is a top selling. People love to see somebody hitting or slapping or whatever. When I'm creating content, I always think of something that people can find relatable, something they would want to do but can't because they're going to probably go to jail. Yeah. So if I can incorporate them too, I know it's going to pop off.
Yeah.
So that's why I named myself Ebony World of Drama, because wherever I go, I create drama.
I like that. So with you being such a well-known person, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say this allegedly, but I can imagine if he shared your content, you're a beautiful woman, Shaq probably was even in them DMs, allegedly. Is it harder for you to date?
Short.
Is it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You his type. Look, everybody knows Shaq's type. So, is it harder for you to date now that you've, stepped into this space?
Yes, very much hard to
What
date.
makes it hard?
Well, first of all, it makes it hard because you don't know if somebody genuinely coming to find out who you are, or if they coming to benefit off you in what you do. So I have to try to decipher the two, because right now on Instagram, I'm reaching 70 million in 30 days, 400,000 people following me. So I get a lot of DMs. I mean, people, celebs, whatever, and probably bigger than me, but it's just like, you probably here for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? You coming for one thing. And at my big old age that I am, I ain't here to add bodies to myself, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
You got your standards and morals in place.
Yes,
at this point. And that's a good thing. So I guess that would lead to my next question. Do you think, obviously we know that it's all God's timing, but do you think finding this space at this age, we're not even gonna talk about your age specifically, but finding this space in this mature space of your life, do you think that it was better for you? Do you think that the young Ebony could have handled this space?
You know what? I could, because I have always been different, and I'm not trying to, say, I have my friends, they'll tell you, I always hung with drinkers, smokers. That's just never been something I indulged in. So I can always handle the pressure, because I have always had a strong mind.
Yeah.
I grew up from a strong background. I grew up from a church background. I grew up, my daddy owned drugs, but my mama never touched drugs in her life. So I had that balance
seen both sides. Yeah, you seen
between
both
both.
sides.
I seen what the drugs did, so I stayed away from that. But then I had my mama, a praying woman. So with that being said, it pushed me in a direction to be able to handle both and everything that come with that. So I'm grounded. I'm real street smarts.
Yeah.
Might not have a book sense, but street smarts to take you way further, I'm telling you.
Yeah. So do you think that our Midwest upbringing helps us come out here and navigate the Valley in a proper way?
100%.
Elaborate.
Growing up on the west, from Gary, like I said, I grew up on survival, meaning I create dramas that's real life because I lived it. I've been through it. I saw it. Any skit I put out there is because I lived through it. I went home in December. Most people know what I do, but when I go home, I try to incorporate my family because here I work with content creators. They understand it. They know what to do. They know how to act. But I can get the real life stuff from somebody who's not on an everyday platform of doing it. So I called my sister and I said, hey, I need you to come. And she said, what you want me to do? I said, I want you and your husband to come. She said, Ebony, I said, listen, I need you to trust me on this. And see, this is where it comes in where my family, they have my back 100%. When I tell them to do, they don't really ask questions. They gonna do because they know.
They believe.
They believe in me.
Yeah.
And they know when I come up, they also come up.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, I told my sister husband, I need you to act like I get caught cheating with you. And I know it was strong because he knew it was gonna go viral and he knew people would be like, this is probably gonna make them think that I'm sleeping with my wife's little sister.
Yeah.
And I had to tell him, listen, I know how you finna think about this. I don't want you to think too much into it because this is somebody's life in real life. This has happened. I know for a fact. People have slept with their husbands, sister husbands, cousins that slept with babysit. All of that happens. So I just thank God I have a platform that I can push it out there. And that video for me hit 120 million people. It got stolen almost 75 times because people know, they didn't know if it was real or fake.
So with your content, you write out your content.
I don't write anything out. I literally, on the fly, come up with something and think about it. Sometimes I jot it down if I feel like I saw something that I want to recreate. But majority of the time, it's fresh off the dome. And people think that everything I do is scripted. Nothing is scripted that I do. Everything I do is improv. Yeah.
So I got a question for you. Who's more toxic, men or women?
Depends. It depends. It depends because in 2026, it's toxic. Nowadays, women are more aggressive than men nowadays. I get women in my inbox like, hey, I just want to, the stuff they say as a woman coming to me, I be like, wow, the men ain't had a balls to do that, but okay.
Yeah.
So nowadays, a lot of roles have been switched and a lot of scenarios have been changed because it's women hustling harder than men nowadays. So the scenario, as the roles have just been reversed and flipped around in my eyes.
You're a strong mother, and I know you love your boys dearly. So with that being said, and with you knowing the world that we're living in currently, what do you teach them? How do you teach them to survive or to find a mate? Or, I mean, I know they're at that age where that's not top priority, but it's gonna become a priority in life. So what do you teach them? What do you show them?
See, they have a mother that's straight hood, gangster. They're not like that. So I tell them that they are much nicer than I am. And I got them out of Gary, Indiana at a young age because I lost so many of my closest friends, and I didn't want my boys to gravitate or grow up in that mindset that I had to grow up in. Even though it shaped me to the person I am, they weren't ready for that. They weren't ready for that.
But that's the thing. What is it that mothers, and I say this respectfully, I don't want no mother to get offended by this, but why are we coddling the children when we've survived so much, overcame so much, and we know that these things are some of the things that have made us stronger? I mean, you get where I'm going with that question?
Yes, but it's different nowadays.
Yeah.
People used to fight.
Yeah.
It ain't no fight no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
it's straight up,
yeah.
I'm trying to more so protect them, not coddle them, but protect them from the streets. So it's totally different. Back then, you used to see a fight and everybody would go home and laugh about it. You might see it here and there. Now, everything is content. Everything is on social media. Everything is taken to heart. It ain't no let's fight and we can laugh about it next week.
Man.
It's like revenge. It's revenge. It's death.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but that's truth. It's truthful. So a lot of stuff have changed now. So I don't coddle my boys. I'm really hard on my boys because I am a single mother. But I basically just let them know, like, hey, it's some savages out here. Everybody is not gonna be like how I am. Everybody is not gonna be soft. My boys is really I got one of them is hardcore like me. You know, you always get that one that's like, yeah, you be like, boy, you know, I gave my mama the business. Now you gonna come full circle and give me the business. My oldest is so mellow. He think nobody can do wrong. So I have to stay on him a lot more than I have to stay on my 15-year-old.
No worries. Your youngest boy, that's a star in the making. Is he gonna? What does he want to do right now? Because right now it seems like he's a star in the making. And
He
he's gonna
is
do
because
what mom does.
yes, because he's growing up watching YouTube.
Yeah.
And that YouTube then took over his mind where he like, do you know they got this many subscribers? To the point I wasn't even on YouTube. Okay, I wasn't on YouTube. But I'm like, my son watching people channel, he like, I'm gonna subscribe. He 8 years old. He's subscribing and clicking. I'm like, well, if you subscribing to them, hey, mama on Facebook making a killing. Yeah. Let me switch over and navigate to YouTube and see how it go. So I've been on YouTube for 7 months. And I got 400 subscribers in 7 months. So God is good.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. So I guess this was a beautiful interview. I really do appreciate you for taking the time out and giving me this space to share my platform with you. What do you, I guess we wrapping it up and you could give the people out there inspiration, motivation. What would you say to those content creators that just aren't in the algorithm like you're in the algorithm?
Consistency is key, okay? If you're not gonna be consistent with it, it's gonna flop. I don't know if y'all don't know this, but once you hit a certain platform and you get so many followers and you getting watched so much, I did a skit where I let somebody slap my butt, right? And he was a younger guy, and I turned around and slapped him like, I'm old enough to be your mama. Why would you thought it was okay to slap me on my rear end? That got me demonetized for 4 months. My page was taken from me for unwanted touching. I lost it. When they did that, that was the highest my page have ever reached. I was reaching 200 million people. When they did it in 4 months, I had almost, I lost almost like 2 million in 4 months because I couldn't post and it was consistent. So a lot of my followers dropped off. So I'm telling them, I'm saying this to say, you have to stay consistent with everything you do. Because just in that short of time, I lost that many followers because of me being demonetized. So not saying you ever gonna get demonetized, but what I'm trying to make it make sense is you have to stay consistent on posting. You have to stay consistent on putting in that work. You gotta stay consistent. It's like a job. You coming in Monday through Friday working for somebody else and get paid. You gotta put that same time into your craft and what you want to do.
Yeah. So sounds like it can happen fast, but it can crash fast too if you're not careful.
Just as fast as you put it out there. And that's another reason I stay so humble, because just as fast as me got this many followers and they loving my content, God can be like, you know what, maybe you're getting a little too big here. I'm going to take it away. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell people all the time, don't change who you are. You know what I'm saying? Always be who your authentic self. Don't let the money change you. Like right now, I got a movie role offer. You know what I'm saying? It was Amazon Prime. It was gonna be big. It had some big names in it.
Man.
But I prayed on it. I slept on it. It was not sitting right with me, and they wanted me to be a stripper on the role, right? And it was gonna be good money. It was good people behind it. But I tell people, all money is not good money. I was raised like that. I tell people all the time, even though I probably was gonna have my first movie role and it was gonna get pushed out, they're gonna know me as being a stripper. No matter what y'all see Diamond off Players Club.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was gonna just
you're
say
gonna know her, you know her from Diamond Up. She done did a million roles after that. I think at my age, being as old as I am, maybe you'd have called me before I had kids. Maybe I would have popped out. But I don't want that to be my first role, and they know me from being a stripper, so I declined the offer.
For sure.
And it set well with me, even though the money was gonna be great.
Man.
But all money is not good money.
But no, that's that thing though, like that Spike Lee movie Girl 6.
Oh,
you know,
he came and shared my skit, Spike Lee.
Oh, yeah.
And then he asked, like, is this real? I said, if Spike Lee can come and not knowing it's real, baby, I'm doing something right with the Birdman. You know what I'm saying?
You're doing a lot right.
Hey, I did the Birdman thing. Ooh, Spike Lee.
Well, I really do appreciate you for coming through. You're welcome anytime. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This was a very, 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 very exciting episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Once again, I'm comedian Feddy Reggie. This is Ebony World of Drama. Ego episode, what we on? 3 or 4? We on 3 or 4. We on episode 4, where everybody's got an opinion. What's yours? Thank y'all. Signing out.
And
Thank you. Let me move this thing out your way. Hey, let's take one more picture. Take this.